Yes.
I'm glad to see everybody here tonight. It's really a pleasure. I started my journey in 2007 when me and my nephew decided to move to Melbourne because we lost my sister and his mom, and the house that we were living in, it was rough. It had a lot of memories and stuff, so we decided to go to Melbourne and have a different life and even start over. I went to the doctor up there and asked him for pain for my knee because I was having trouble with my knee. And the doctor said, well, let's take an x-ray and see what it looks like. He came back and he asked me how I was walking on that knee. I said, very painfully. He said, well, you need a complete knee. So he sent me over to our orthopedic doctor, surgeon. And he said the same thing. He says, how are you working on that knee? I said, very painful, doc. See, he says, well, you need a complete knee. And they set me up for my surgery. And we went and called my sister-in-law to come up and be with me to go through the surgery. And my brother. And as I was in the hospital, I guess the old body, everybody said, oh, no problem, you're going to be in and out, no worry. Well, somebody forgot to tell my body. I was in, but I didn't come out real quick. As I was in there, one time when I woke up, I was in PCU, and I'm going, why am I in PCU? And they kept dragging me out of bed and put me on the stretcher like I was a piece of meat, and taking me down for different tests and all. And one day they were doing an ultrasound on the kidneys because they decided they wanted to join the party, so they were shutting down. And they were doing an ultrasound, and that's when they found the mass. And this real nice little GYN, she came in, and she did an exam. And what makes you nervous is when the nurse and this doctor standing in front of your bed going, and you're going, they said, well, we'll be back. We're going to go call another doctor for a second opinion. I said, what the heck? So I took a nap. Next thing I knew, this guy was pulling on my foot, and he looked just like my uncle. And I go, Uncle? He goes, no, I'm Dr. Blomilowski, the second doctor. They wanted an opinion. He said, well, we think you have ovarian cancer. He said, but we're not going to worry about that right now. He said, we need to get you back on your feet, so they're going to send you to rehab in a couple of days and so you can get back on your feet and go through rehab and get your leg all well and everything. So they shipped me over to rehab. In the meantime, I pushed the idea of having cancer into the back of my mind. I didn't think about it, didn't even give it a thought. I worked mainly on getting my leg well. And my niece and my sister-in-law, Diane and Kimberly, came up to see me, and they were surprised that I was sitting in a wheelchair. And I looked at them, I said, I'm a fighter. You know, nothing's going to keep me down. So after being in a month of rehab, they sent me home for more rehab. And it was the last of June, about the 1st of July, they sent the last visit with the orthopedic doctor. He says, well, he's going to release you. You can go back to the doctor who did the second opinion. He said, you go home and call and make an appointment. I said, sure, okay. I guess he didn't like the way I said, sure, okay. Because he made me sit down and had his office staff call the doctor and make an appointment for me. So I guess he figured I wasn't going to go home and make the appointment. So as Diane was there with me, she was driving to my doctor's appointments with my leg and stuff. So the day that we were supposed to go to Dr. Blomilowski's office, she came up and went with me. And we were sitting there, and they took me back and he did the exam. And he asked me if I had any family members with me. I said, yeah, my sister-in-law, Diane. He said, well, I'll send the nurse out to get her. So they brought Diane back, and we were sitting there waiting for him to come back in the room. And he says, he says that you have ovarian cancer. He says, but the only way we can tell for sure is to do surgery. And I looked at him with tears running down my face, and I said, please, no more surgery. He says, this surgery won't be as bad as your knee surgery. I said, I just don't want any more surgery. He says, well, it's the only way. I said, well, okay. So in July, they set up their appointment for us to go in and have the surgery. And the nurse practitioner that was there in the office, she was there when she walks in, she said, do you remember me? I said, yeah. She says, how are you doing? I said, scared. She says, I'll be right here with you. And she says, when you wake up, I'll be sitting here with you. And she says, I'll be right here by your side. So we didn't have the surgery, and when I woke up, she was there. She was right there with me. So then we went to our follow-up checkup after the surgery. And that's when they said, well, you need to have chemo. It's the icing on the cake. I said, now my cake? They're going to put icing on me? You know? I said, I don't want no icing. I just want to be a naked cake. I don't care for icing. And they said, well, it's just to make sure that we got it all. And I said, no. So then I said, okay. Then they took us in the chemo room. And the chemo nurse, she comes at me, and me, who does not like needles. And I was being a real trooper. She stuck me once. I thought, okay. Then she stuck me twice. I thought, oh, this is not good. So then she said, wait a minute, we're bringing another nurse. I thought, oh. So then she went and got this other nurse, and she tried, and this was the third time. I'm sitting there by this time, tears are running down my face, and I looked at Diane and I said, I'm done. I said, I'm out of here. And they said, no. I said, you can take your chemo and stuff it. I'm leaving. I'm not hanging around. They said, well, you need to talk to Alice. Let Alice talk to you. I said, I'm gone. And they said, no, you really need to talk to Alice. So then they put me and Diane in this room. We were sitting there waiting for Alice to come in. And I kept looking at Diane. I said, she don't get in here soon. I said, I'm out here. And Diane, she was real nice. She says, whatever you want to do, you want to leave, we'll leave. She says, but it's your call. She said, but we should at least stay and hear what they have to say. So Alice comes in the room. She says, well, we can put a PICC line in, and it'll last for all your treatments. She said, you only have to have 6. She said, they're 3 weeks apart. And she said, the PICC line will last through all your treatments. So I said, okay. And they called and made an appointment for me and Diane to go over to the hospital to have the PICC line in. Real nice nurse. I mean, she was real nice. So we go in, and she's laid down on the bed, and I was talking to Diane, and I looked over, I said, well, when you going to put the PICC line in? She says, I'm done. I said, huh? I never felt a sticker or anything. She was done. So then that's when the trip down the road, we go over to chemo. And, you know, it was no fun sitting there. We laughed and we teased. And, you know, we made jokes with the chemical nurse, you know. And, it was a long day. It drug you out. It was just, you know. And we did it for 6 times, and then we had graduation day. And the last treatment, when I went in for my last treatment, the PICC line blew. And I said, oh, this is not happening. She was very fortunate. She found a vein to do the last treatment. And we had cupcakes and punch, and I got a diploma for my last chemo treatment. The doctor signed it, and the nurses signed it, and I still have my diploma at the house. And, I said, that's pretty cool. The only thing is, the whole time I was going through chemo, I was working. And they told me I could work as long as I only work 32 hours. I thought, who's going to know the difference? So, I was working 42 to 52 hours. So when I went in I had to go in every week to have a PICC line wiped and flushed out. And I was sitting there one time, and the chemo nurse says, you ain't leaving so quick. Alice wants to talk to you. I never had talked to Alice before. And I found out you do not make Alice mad. Bad move. she come in and she slammed the door. I go, oh, this isn't good. And she says, how many hours are you working? I said, 32. She said, would you like to re-add again? I said, 52. And she said, how many did I tell you to work? I said, 32. She says, mm-hmm. She says, are we still going to work 52 hours? I said, maybe. She goes, okay. She says, pack your bag and go to the hospital. I go, why? She says, because I'm admitting you into the cancer ward. She said, that way you can't work 52 hours. I said, I promise I'll only work 32 hours. And I was good, and I did. I only worked 32 hours. I don't know who was what she had watching me, but she knew. My old bloodhound, she knew. So, and finally I made it past my first year, and I had the little camper, and I said, you made your first year. I said, oh boy. And then, then we moved back down here, and she says, now that you're not coming into the office as much, you need to get involved in a group. I said, I don't like groups. I don't like people. I don't like crowds.
I don't like people.
She says, you need to get in a group. She said, you're not going to have that much contact with us anymore. You need to be in a group. I said, oh yeah, okay. So I was walking around here one day, and I said, I found the phone number, and I called it. Well, I was waiting for the person to call me back, and I was very surprised. A man called me. I'm like, alrighty then. I said, what kind of group is this? And the voice on the phone was Mike. And he said, well, we're having a meeting tonight. I said, okay. So I came over here, and I was parked, and he came up, and then Jack and Mary were there the same night. And he came out, and he says, are you here for the meeting? I said, no, I'm here for the movies. He says, well, I don't know anything about any movies, but if you want to, he says, you can come to our meeting. So I followed him like a little puppy dog, And that's where I met the wonderful group that I'm in now. And they are a wonderful bunch, let me tell you. And I thought everything was going along pretty good. And one day the doctor told me, oh, your kiddies are doing this number again. They're shutting down. So they sent me to a kidney doctor, and she said, oh, now you have an abnormal. If you've ever been down the cancer road, you don't want to hear abnormal. She said, you have an abnormal in your blood count. I said, no. So then she sent me to the hematologist up in Melbourne, and I called Diane again. And they when they make an appointment, they don't make it, in a week. They had me waiting 3 weeks. And I was bouncing off the wall, the ceiling, the floor, the windows, and driving Kimberly crazy. I would call her and say, hey man, the time stood still, and this is driving me nuts. I can't deal with this. So one day, I was at Walmart shopping, I was just trying to forget about it. And Kim calls me, she says, I got a surprise for you. I thought, okay. She said, you need to come to the house. I said, okay. So I went to the house, and she says, I called your doctor. I thought she meant my family doctor. I said, well, she ain't gonna do nothing for me. She says, no. She said, the doctor in Melbourne. She said, they're gonna see you tomorrow. And that's when I looked, and I said, I'm done. I don't want to take any more pills. I don't want to do any more doctors. I'm done, And I didn't really realize how much I upset her that day until I looked at her little face. And I didn't really mean to upset her. I was tired of taking pills, I was tired of going down the rocky road, and I was done. And then Diane looked at me again. She said, you know, she's like, I can't tell you what to do. She's like, I can only be here for you to have a shoulder to cry on. And she says, it's up to you. She says, but isn't it better to know or not know? And I looked at her and I thought, that makes sense. So the day of the appointment, she went with me, and she was signing me in, and I was sitting in the chair kind of like this, and she was signing me in with the receptionist, and everything started running back through my head, those 6 years that, you know, down the chemo road and yada yada. So I walked out, and we were on the second floor, and I thought, I could leave, you know? And then as I thought, I can leave you. That's when I seen my little niece's face. And, you know, I said, no. And I really realized between all the people I really would have been hurting if I did anything to myself. The people that are in the group, my family, and other friends. And, you know, it's not fair. Even though I thought I was doing the best thing, you know, I thought, you know, I wouldn't be suffering anymore and I wouldn't be putting them through anything. But actually, I'd be hurting them more by doing something that foolish. So we went there and we, you know, it turned out that, yes, I was anemic, but he said, oh, no, it's nothing to worry about. You're cool. He says, you're low, but nothing to worry about. So he sent us home and put me on Flintstones, and hey, I'm a Flintstone kid, you know? Other than that, and like I say, my family's been wonderful with me. They've been there for me. And the group I'm in now, they're a wonderful bunch of people. And they're there for me, and God's there for me, and we all walk down this rocky road. But I wish it was less bumpy because I got a bad back. You know, I could use a little bit of smooth area there, you know. But as it is, you know, one day at a time, and that's how you deal with it. And I'm so grateful for being here tonight, and that's the end of my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, Diana. That was special. Thank you so much for sharing your story. God bless you too. Isn't it special, huh? We've got some music now from Maureen.
This is a song called Old Devil Time, which is one of my mother's favorite songs. And when I was thinking about this group and things that my mom had rheumatoid arthritis when she was 23. And so she's going to be 80 this coming year. So she's had a long time of needing help and having loved ones around. So that's what made me think of this song. Old devil time, I'm gonna fool you now. Old devil time, you'd like to bring me down. But when I'm feeling low, my lovers gather round. Help me rise to find you one more time. Old devil fear, you with your icy hand. Old devil fear, you'd like to freeze me cold.
Anyway, what we will do now is asking you all to come up and bring your hands with you. And form a circle around the altar. Pastor is up there, and I'm going to give you your breath. So get up off your feet. It's great. Everybody in the circle? How about if you come up equal with George's as part of the circle?
I know mine.
Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to read a name. These are in alphabetical order. These are sisters that we have lost, mothers, grandmothers, aunts, cousins, godmothers, who have died since the first one.
And then these names will pass the way around, keep the lid upright, and the unlit candle to the lit candle, and that way it won't be pouring wax on the person's head. And we'll start with Georgia.
Stella Acosta. Alice and Charlotte. Annie Harrison. Joan Atwood. Sandra Baird. Maureen Braga. Evelyn Beard. Ruth Becker. Janice Block. Barbara Bogart. Helen Burke, Florence Cairns, Eunice Del Rosa, Louise DeMilo, Patty Fleming, Samantha Lovely Gautier, Sharon Gardner, Janice Graham, Joan Hill, Ruth Hoey, Carolyn Joyner, Anne Landry, Ruth Longino, Anne Lopresti, Diane McLaughlin, Sheila Milo, Mary Mobley, Anne Malloy, Judith Morehouse, Pat Nelson, Lois Nystrom, Harriet Pasek, Gisela Ramey, Marge Raymond, Georgia Ray, Brandy Lynn Rivera, Inga Robinson, Francis Sanzaro, Rosalind Steinberg, Nancy Stoddard, Joyce Stovall, Lee Strong, Lisa Sullivan, Colleen Wilcox. And now I invite you all to voice the names of those women who you know or who have lost the battle, or fighting the battle, or who have lost the battle to ovarian cancer, who we have not named. Fighting the battle, Sylvia Galante.
Not ovarian cancer, but my brother-in-law down here.
Paul Del Rosa,
Diana Davis. Tommy Gregory.
Lord, we give you thanks for those we remember, those near and dear who have touched our lives, and have gone on before us. Fill us with hope and the strength and promise to come for the resurrection. We also pray as we gather, as we prepare to leave, that we look to you as the source of all human knowledge and skill. Guide physicians and nurses and all those who have called to practice the arts of healing. Strengthen them by your life-giving spirit, that by their work the health of all people may be promoted and your creation may be glorified. And loving God, our Creator and Redeemer, give strength, gentleness, patience, and faithfulness to family members and friends, and those fighting the battles, remembering those who have gone before. Let our hope be in you, and by the love that is shared, may we all come to know your love. As we go from this place, from this gathering, I ask that you would go before us to guide us. Behind us to encourage us, above us to watch over us, beside us to befriend us, and within us to give us your peace. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you. And as we leave, it's like I love the Henry candlelight ceremony because this is a reminder that the light, God's light is stronger than any darkness. And you all are living proof of that. And we commend you to that eternal light. As you go, there's some refreshments on the back, and you can blow your candles out. There's some baskets in that right. Is it your
I have the last word. Thank you, everyone, for coming and helping us to make this extraordinary step. Cookies and cold and water and conversation, and we welcome you back to church. Thank you.